Hi scholars, welcome back to Primer's Classroom. In the last class, I explained every principle and everything you have to know about the cell theory. So today, we want to start solving all of the questions on it. So the first question says that, which of the following is the characteristics of animal cell? That means that which characteristics belong to animal cell? A, presence of chloroplasts, that is seen in plants. Possession of a cellulose cell wall. Absence of large vacuole. Presence of large vacuole, presence of chromosomes. So from what I said, there's absence of large vacuole. Even if there is any, it's just going to be little in animal cell. So the next question says that the vacuole of a plant is the vacuole of a plant. You remember the vacuole contains what we call the cell sap, all of the things that the plant probably excretes and all of those stuff. So we have what we call the food vacuole and the contractile vacuole. So a large number one, a large empty space. Does the vacuole contains a large empty space? No, it contains fluid. Two, smaller than that of an animal cell. There's a large vacuole in plants, so it's not going to be smaller. C, filled with air. That's still like an empty space. D, an ordinary vacuum. It is not an ordinary vacuum. That also negates option A. So you can see those are the logics you can use in exam. You're already seeing two options saying the same thing. So you can eliminate those two options, even if you don't know what to do. Vacuum also means empty space in the real sense of it. So he is surrounded by a membrane. Yes. What's the membrane that surrounds the vacuole? It is called a tonoplast. So the vacuole is surrounded by a membrane. So number three, the part of the cell that is solely responsible for respiration is respiration happens in cytoplasm and in mitochondria, but the one that involves producing the energy, oxidative phosphorylation, that takes place in mitochondria. When we get to respiration, I'll show you Krebs cycle, the glycolytic pathway, and how all of these things happen in the electron transport chain. So that is what number three is all about. So the answer is mitochondria. Number four, which of these combination is common to plants and animals? So they are saying that of all of these combinations, some of them are common to plants and animals. So the moment you see one that is not even common, then you just eliminate that option. You don't have to waste time looking at all of the options. So option A is central. Now, when you look at central, central is present in animal cell, not in plant cell. So that's already eliminated option A. I don't even want to care about the rest of the options. So option B says that cytoplasm, both of them have cytoplasm, sap vacuole. Now, another thing is starch granules. Most are not supposed to see starch granules in animal cells, but fine. Even euglena still have starch granules that we call paramylon granules. So, but let's move on to the option to see which one is best. C, plasma membrane, yes. Chromosomes, yes. Mitochondria, yes. And lysosome. So, which means that our best option is option C. Lysosome is present in both plants and animal cell. Mitochondria is present. Plasma membrane, which is also known as your cell membrane, is also present. Then we have chromosomes. So all of them are present. So let's move on to number 5. Where is energy produced in a cell? You remember what you call the powerhouse of the cell. That is the mitochondria. So number 6. Which of the following cell constituents is not common to both plants and animal? So there's a cell constituent that is not common to both plants and animal. And when we are talking about this, let's be speaking about each one of them. Mitochondria, we already know that's the powerhouse. It is present in both plants and animals. Chloroplast is not present in both plants and animals. It is only present in plants. Then ribosome is present, and that helps in formation of protein synthesis. Then Golgi apparatus helps you to repackage protein. So when protein is produced, the protein is sent to Golgi apparatus. Then Golgi apparatus restructure it by adding the necessary lipids and carbohydrates before sending it out of the cell for use. So Golgi apparatus helps you to transport materials in and out of the cell, and it repackages most of your materials. So that is just like your delivery system. So you send it, you want to send a package to someone, so someone help you to wrap it up, make it presentable, then send it out for the person you want to send it to. So that's the job of Golgi apparatus. So vacuole can be present in both plants and animal. So we have the contractile vacuole in amoeba and the likes, but we already said it that Baco is majorly present in plants because it's going to be very large and it's going to be useful for plants to excrete their waste. So the best answer is option B, the chloroplast. Why I'm explaining each of them is that it's very important to understand the function. So when you see a question that has to do with any other one, then you can deal with it just like that. So number 7, the function of endoplasmic reticulum. So look at this now. What is the function of endoplasmic reticulum? Remember, I said we have two types of endoplasmic reticulum, the smooth and the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So endoplasmic reticulum, A, protein synthesis. It is only when ribosome is attached to endoplasmic reticulum that you produce protein. So ribosomes are the ones that are involved in protein synthesis. We're going to talk about ribosomes later. We have what we call rRNA, ribosomal RNA, messenger RNA, and transfer RNA, and how protein is being produced when we get to genetics. So, but for now, just looking at option, and that's number 7. So the function of endoplasmic reticulum is intracellular transport of material, see digestion and destruction of foreign bodies. That is done by lysosome. Production of energy from glucose, that is done by mitochondria. Why? So the answer is option B, intracellular. When protein is produced in the nucleus, then the protein is transported out of the nucleus within the cell. That is the job of endoplasmic reticulum. So until probably when you know how these things happen, the mechanisms, then you always remember how it all happened. So we'll talk about that with time. Then number 8, the oxidative part of the respiration process takes place where? It takes place in the mitochondria. Then number 9, the function of ribosome in the cell. I already said that in the previous question. That is protein synthesis. Number 10, which of the following structures is common to euglena, white blood cell, and amoeba? Amoeba, euglena, white blood cells. Fine, they are all cells. They are all unicellular, and most of these cells we are talking about, they are animal cells. So which means that what is common to all of them is going to be something common to all animal cells. But if you look at it, cell membrane is present. So that's option D. So number 11, we have a diagram here. So the structure labeled 5. So please, if you're here to get primers past questions, you can order for it. We'll send it to you. So most of the questions I'm solving here, they are our jump past questions, and they are present in primers past questions. So while you are watching the video, you can be following the questions through. And one of the advantages of this is that solving the questions with you will not make you sleep, and it will make you see someone to discuss with instead of just writing option A 1 to 50. And so you can go over this video over and over until you get used to everything. And when you get to exam more, it will keep ringing in your brain, unlike you reading on your own and you find it so difficult to comprehend one or two things. So this is more like a group discussion. So number 11, the structure labeled 5 is the what? The structure labeled 5. So if you look at all of the structures, and don't forget, if anytime you see, let me describe most of them to you. First, look at it. Is it an animal cell or a plant cell? When you see the structure, and plant cell usually have a particular shape. So, but from what we have here, number 5, number 4 is the mitochondria. You can see that that one looks like sausage. If I'm going to describe it, it is interfolded. The inside, it has what we call the cyste inside, the folding inside, the matrix, and all mitochondrial matrix. But if you want to know Golgi apparatus, that looks like hot dog. If you have seen hot dog before, that's how they always look, with some dots or vesicles on top of them. So if you look at that number 5, that looks more like an hot dog. So that is Golgi apparatus. Then if you look at the one labeled number 2, anyone that is folded like that, internetwork, that one is connected to the other is connected to the other, then that is your endoplasmic reticulum. So that's what it is all about. Then your cis is your nuclear membrane, your cis is your nucleus. So your one can either be the cell wall or the cell membrane, but the one that directly surrounds the cell is called the cell membrane. The outer one is called the cell wall. So the answer here is Golgi body or Golgi apparatus. So number 12, which of the labeled parts of the cell contains ribonucleic acid? That is the RNA. So that is the inside of the cell. The nucleolus produce ribosomes, and all of these things happen in the nucleus. So our answer to that is the one labeled 3. That's option C. Which of the following is known as the powerhouse of the cell? That's the one I described as mitochondria. That is 4. So let's move on. You can see now if you miss one of these questions, you might actually miss the rest of the question in exams. So which of the following structure is associated with aerobic respiration? That is mitochondria. Every time you hear respiration, you're trying to produce energy, and that is mitochondria. Number 15, the structure labeled 5 is used for what? So let's look at the structure labeled 5. That is the endoplasmic reticulum. So A, protein synthesis, structure labeled 5. Oh, that is Golgi body. So if you look at the picture clearly, that's the Golgi body. So it's not endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is folded, but this looks like sausage. And don't forget, the major reason I said endoplasmic reticulum before was that it's been attached to the cell membrane. And most times the endoplasmic reticulum gets attached to the cell membrane. So you have to carefully look at it very well, so that maybe they are trying to confuse you, if I would say. So this looks like a sausage, and because the picture is not so clear, so you can look at it very well. That is your Golgi body. And A, protein synthesis, B, energy production, C, secretion, D, excretion. Yes, Golgi body involves secretion. It's going to secrete a whole lot of things that will be added to protein when it is produced. It also helps to produce vesicles, all those things, so which are packaged and they carry out the protein that has been restructured out of the cell. So secretion will be the best answer to number 15. Number 16, the organelle involved in tissue respiration, that is still talking about mitochondria. Number 16. Number 17, the membrane surrounding the vacuole in a plant cell is called what? I already said at the beginning of the class, that is called the tonoplast. Plasmalemma. Plasmalemma is also known as plasma membrane. So that surrounds the cytoplasm. So we have the nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane surrounds the nucleus, from the word nuclear membrane. So which of the following organelles are likely to be present in cells that are actively respiring and photosynthesizing? What is involved in an organism that is respiring? That is mitochondria. The one involved in the one that is photosynthesizing, that is chloroplast. That is what contains the chlorophyll and all of those things. So the answer to number 18 is mitochondria and chloroplast. That's option B. So number 19, let me solve to number 20 so you can continue the rest. If there's anyone you're not sure of the answer, you can leave it in the comment section. And if you're here to subscribe to our channel, please make sure you click the subscription button and turn on your notification bell, and help us to share the video with other colleagues or students that want to learn from the comforts of their home. So number 19, the structure labeled 1 is, so you will see that there's an attachment to that structure. And anytime you have an attachment to a structure like that, those are ribosomal attachments. And that is, you can see the structure is not necessarily looking like endoplasmic reticulum, but the attachment already said it. So that is endoplasmic reticulum. Protein is synthesized in the part labeled what? That's the part labeled 2. That is the ribosome. So 21, the nucleus is considered the control organelle of the cell because what? Why is it that we consider the nucleus the main center, the control of the cell? Everything that happens in the cell is controlled by the nucleus. So why is the nucleus considered the control organelle of the cell? A, contains the genetic material. That is true. B, contains the nuclear sap. C, is bounded by the cell membrane. D, is located at the center of the cell. So it's not about its location now. It's a control center because it determines a whole lot of things that happen within the cell. And there's a blueprint of life that every organism carries, and that is the DNA. And this DNA is present inside the nucleus. So, and that is why we say, oh, everything about our life is being controlled by the nucleus. So let me stop here at question 21, so you can try to solve the rest of the questions. There are up to, so there are 52 questions here from 1978 to 2025. So try to solve everything, and don't forget to subscribe and leave the like buttons. We love you. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye. So in our next class, we're talking about actually we're going to be talking about cell and its environment in the next class, where I will tell you about isotonic, hypotonic, hypertonic, crenation, hemolysis, plasmolysis, and all of those things that have to do with the cell and its environment. So thank you. I'll see you in the next class.